G'day folks, it's Thunderballs here and welcome to another one of my tutorial videos. Today we're going to cover a little bit more about keybinds and inventory, ASOPs and shop terminals and things like that. So to start off with, I'm going to go through some inventory stuff. If you press I, it will bring up your inventory. By default, filters will be off, so you will see everything that is in your various inventories that you have access to wherever you are. So today I'm at Seraphim Station, so on the right hand side of my screen I can see all of the items that I have stored here at Seraphim. And there is a crap load of items here. I've got lots of stuff that's useful, that's junk, I've just collected it. Something I didn't have, something I wanted, whatever. It's all here. Now on the left you have your personal inventory, which is your backpack, your core armor and your leg armor. Depending on what size, like light, medium, heavy, would depend on how much you can carry in those locations. So looking at our body, depending on what items you're wearing as well will also depend on how much you can carry. So up the top right here we've got this little cog settings type looking icon, and on there we can select the item port helpers, so they were already enabled for us. Okay, so what this does is it shows you what you have equipped and how much of everything you can equip. Now you can also filter what you've got in your inventory by these areas. So you've got your armor and your undersuits and weapons and things like that. You can also go to custom filter, which will then filter those down even further, so you can have a look at your armor, but say you only wanted to look for helmets. Okay, so you would then just see helmets. Let's just untick ammo here, make sure we can only just see helmets. And so you would see all of your helmets. While you're in your inventory and you want to hover something to see what it is, it's cut off by the custom panel here. So you can click on custom to remove that, and you can then see your tooltips a lot better. If you click and drag an item on top of another item that is the same, it will stack it up. Okay, so there are some items like weapons and things. They're slightly different, they look the same but they are a different name. Some things can stack and some things don't stack. So we've got two dark bear orange helms here. That's letting us stack it. For some reason the Morozov SH helmets just looks like boxes. I don't know why. But if you wanted to keep your inventory tidy, you can move things around, stack them up, and just make it look a bit neater and tidier. So as you can see, I've got quite a few Horizon white helmets, which is what you get when you die at the clinic. Little freebie helms, so whenever I buy something new or collect something new, then they just get stored into my inventory. You can also then right click on an item to equip it, or you can click and drag it. It'll then, once you grab an item, it'll show you where you can put it. So you can put it on your head, where that circle is, or you could carry it in your hand, or you could drop it. The other options you have in right clicking is to drop it, or to split it. So if you want this 22 lot here, you want to take 2 of those, we can split those. So then we're left with a 20 stack and a 2 stack. To move it into your personal inventory, let's say you wanted to bring some more ammo across, you can just click and drag and throw it wherever you want to put it, as long as it fits. Okay, or you can also shift click it and it'll just default to the next available inventory spot based on backpack, core and leg armor as the order that it'll fit. If it won't fit, it'll highlight red. So this stack of 41 FS9 magazines won't fit, but if we split them up we might be able to get some put in there, but I don't need those. Okay, you've also got move all, which is good for if you've got a large ship and you want to move everything from one station to another, or you want to move everything out of your backpack to your station inventory after you've been out on a bit of a looting spree. And you can sort items as well. Okay, a lot of the times when you go to sort something, it doesn't really stay there for too long, and it'll revert back to its default positions shortly after. Okay. There are some other things, like when you're in your inventory, like your med pens, you can right click them and heal yourself. You can inspect the item as well, or you could carry the item. You can also swap it for whatever you've got equipped at the moment. So if I wanted to swap it out, let's say a Quicksilver multi-tool, and we've got a white medical device. If I right click on this multi-tool, the yellow one here, I can swap it out, and it'll just swap it out for the next item that I have. So it would put it in the first spot. If I then go and right click and swap the medical device, okay, it swaps it back for that same item. You can do that with weapons as well. Now up on our chest piece up here, we also have 4 slots for grenades and flares. And on our backpack we have 2 slots for weapons. I'm currently only carrying 1 weapon at the moment, which is generally what I do. Is I'll take out 1 primary weapon and a secondary weapon, so that if I find a better weapon that I want to carry around, I've got that handy. Another thing you can do is you can select things off your body to pull them away and move them around. So if I want to put that refill over there and bring the ammo towards the front, then I've got my 2 Coda ammo sitting at the front, the 2 refills at the back, and then my Demico batteries on my left body side here. So that's the basics of the inventory. There's not that much else really. If you double click an item that's in your inventory, it'll put it, it'll equip it. So if we double click our helmet, that'll then equip our helmet. If we double click an attachment, it'll attach it to the next available item that could actually equip that attachment. So if we were to double click on an orbit attachment, it will replace our tractor beam attachment that we have on our multi-tool here. So if we double click that, it's now on there, and we've got our tractor beam attachment back in our inventory. Double click that, we've got our orbit mining piece back here. Okay, so that pretty much covers inventory. Next, what I'm going to do is we're going to go and have a look at a shop terminal. Okay, now some shops don't have terminals. For example, this pizza shop down here, it doesn't have a terminal to purchase from, and it also doesn't sell pizzas. It sells water.
Hi, welcome.
Which if you press F and hover over it,
if you're not seeing something, you might want to check out our spectrum selection.
More information, which will tell you a bit more about it and its hydrating effect. Or you could just do a quick buy for 3 UEC, and that'll put it into your inventory. Alright, we've also got on the other side here, we've got some synergies, Synergy Plus and Synergy. Okay, I don't want any of those. And you can't buy these soups or coffees or whatever they might be. That drink there, I think, is something that somebody bought and has placed it there.
Hi,
but yeah,
good to have you back.
You can't actually buy pizza from the pizza shop. Now, if we head around to the clinic, it'll give us the ability to purchase items from the pharmacy. So you can buy your med pens, your medical devices, refills for medical devices, and also other medical pen devices. So F is your function or interaction key. Okay, so you press and hold F, and it'll bring up this use option here, which is to use the terminal. In a future patch, hopefully 3.23, which is where it is expected to be, when you move close enough to something, it will pop up with the use ability, and then you just have to press F to use that, rather than having to hold it, get the right angle for it to say use or try it again. Okay, that will all be fixed in a new patch where they will just automatically have that. Some items will be to pick it up or to use it or to open it. It'll automatically show you that. So here is a terminal inventory where we can purchase some items. Alright. Now you've got your two tabs at the top to buy and sell. So you can purchase what they are selling. You can sell back to them. Sometimes some terminals will purchase the same products that they sell. Sometimes they may also purchase other items. It just depends on where you are. So I have had a pharmacy purchase ammo off me before. I don't know why, but they did. Okay, so back to the buy tab. You've then got the destination that the item that you're buying will appear in. So for our pharmacy, we've got the Kel2 RX clinic as a destination, or we've got our backpack, core and legs inventories. Okay, they're the only options that it will give you in a pharmacy. You can't put it in a ship that is stored. You can't put it in the general Seraphim station inventory. It will only go into the clinic. The clinic has a separate inventory to the rest of the station. Let's say we wanted to buy something and put it in our backpack. We can select our backpack there. We can also choose the type of categories that we are looking for. So we've got all categories, miscellaneous and personal weapons in the clinic. Generally what I do is I don't worry about the category. I go straight to the subcategory, which will then further filter it down even more. Oops. So jump back into there. You can also do a search. So if we do a search for Opio, okay, we will then see our Opio pen. If you just do a search for OP, we've got our Opio pen, which has got actually two ops in it. Plus we then have our Cortico pen, because there is an OP in that. If you just want to buy a single item, just go quick buy. Okay, it'll process the transaction and then that will then appear in the destination that I've selected, which is the RX clinic. If you click on an item, it will then give you a description about that item and some information about it and what it's used for, or what it does. And then you can click on the buy button, which will then bring you up to another screen that will give you the option to add quantity multipliers. So you can increase or decrease by 1 and 5, you can increase by 10, reset it back to 0, or you can manually type in how many you want to purchase. It'll then tell you how much it's going to be, and you could buy that. Once again, that'll then go into the inventory that has been selected on the front screen. I'm not going to buy any of those because I don't need those. Okay, and then you can just move away or click the X on the screen, which was up the top right, to get out of that terminal. Now before we leave the clinic, if we have a look at our inventory, we can see what we've got in the clinic inventory. So we can go ahead and move all of that out of there, because if it's in the clinic inventory, you have to come all the way to the clinic to access it. If we move outside the clinic, back to the normal station and look at our inventory, it'll then show our local Seraphim station inventory. There we have it there. So I can then move all of that stuff that I just got out of the clinic inventory into Seraphim station inventory. That's the only way you can transport things from one inventory to another as far as the clinic and the station. You can purchase crates that you could drop in the clinic, open that up, and it'll then allow you to bring things from the clinic into the box, and then you would then bring the box through to here if it's not going to fit all in your backpack, for example, and then take it out of the box and put it into the Seraphim station inventory. Alright, so that's pretty much the same controls for all terminals, whether it's purchasing or all shop terminals, whether it's purchasing weapons, armor, ammo, food and drink, flare items like you can purchase the picos, etc, etc. Next what I'll do is I'm going to show you the ASOP terminal, and we're going to have a look at some basic information on the ASOPs.
To the ASOP vehicle
not
retrieval
just basic
system.
information, but we'll go through the ASOP terminal in a bit of detail here actually. So in your ASOP terminal, this will show you all of the ships that you have in the game, whether it's via a pledge, a loaner, or a purchased in-game via UEC item. Now it also only shows items or ships or vehicles that are actually flight ready and game ready. Okay, so if you've bought an Idris, it's currently not in the game, but you will see the loaner ships that you would get for an Idris as separate ships in the inventory of or in the ASOP terminal list. On the left hand side we have our vehicles, obviously, followed by some info. So we can see that my hammerhead was destroyed. Everything else on this front screen is stored at Seraphim Station. There is no status for the current items. Now, the status will show up if, say for example, we wanted to claim this hammerhead by clicking claim, and I'll go through other actions in a second. It's going to tell us that it's going to take 48 minutes to deliver that. So we'll file a claim.
Your insurance claim has been sent.
We can then pay nearly 25,000.
Your vehicle has been delivered to the Welcome again to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Okay, so now we've got a status of 48 minutes and 20 seconds. Alright, it's going to take that long for that to be delivered to this location, and its info is now changed to awaiting delivery. We then have the focus of the ship. So what is that ship's focus? What is its what is it designed to do? So for example, the Hammerhead is a corvette. You've got the Reclaimer as heavy salvage, Redeemer is gunship, Retaliator heavy bomber, etc, etc. The cargo shows the amount of cargo that you can hold within that ship on its grid. You can, in most ships, hold cargo off-grid, and in some cases that can even double, if not triple, say for example on the Reclaimer. I've heard of people with over 1,000 SCU sitting in there all stacked up to the roof and in various other locations where it's officially can only hold 420. When you go to sell that stuff, it doesn't matter whether it's on the grid or off the grid. However, you are limited to 100 items off grid within a ship before the system starts cleaning up clutter.
Please visit us again. Goodbye.
Let's get back in.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
The crew column, it baffles me. It doesn't tell you the minimum crew to operate the ship, and it doesn't tell you the maximum crew to operate the ship. It seems to be inconsistent. For example, a Reclaimer, it says you can, it's got a crew of 1. However, you can have a pilot, a co-pilot, 2 laser operators, as well as I think it's 2 turret operators. And then you can have other people downstairs taking boxes out of the buffer and moving them around and just chilling out. You only need 1 person in the Reclaimer to do all of those things at separate times, but more people if you want to do it efficiently. It's not showing you that you need a minimum of 1 person to defend the ship either. So the Reclaimer doesn't have any weapons on the pilot. The pilot can't access weapons. Whereas the Redeemer, the pilot does have access to weapons. The Redeemer does have a pilot, a co-pilot, and 2 gunners. So that is a correct crew representation for that one. But for many others, it's not correct. There are some that say, for example, the Eclipse, it is a single seater, so one crew, yeah, fine, no problems. The Reclaimer, definitely not one. Actions that we have available to us, when you first log in,
Please visit
and
us
you've
again.
just bought, or you have just bought
Welcome
a new
to the ASOP
a new ship
vehicle retrieval
that
system.
you've never used, you will have the ability to deliver that ship to the location that you're in. So let's say, for example, here we go, here's a deliver button here for the Dragonfly. That is a hover bike, so I don't want to deliver that up in a space station, so I'm not going to deliver that here. You've then got the retrieve action, which will allow you to retrieve a ship out of the storage of the location that you are in. You have the claim option, which will allow you to claim a ship that is either stored in another location. It's basically an insurance claim. Make an insurance claim on a ship that is stored in a different location so that it would then be delivered to you. For example, I have requested the Hammerhead to be delivered to me. However, it was in a state of destroyed previously, so it's been changed to awaiting delivery, and it's going to take 43 minutes now. And the action that I have is expedite. So if I was to click on that, it will tell me that instead of it being 43 minutes to deliver time, I can expedite that to a time of 11 minutes if I pay 22,500 UEC, which I'm not going to bother about because I'm not going to take the Hammerhead
Please visit us again. Goodbye.
At this stage, so I can just let the standard timer
to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
Other options that you have is if you have a ship already on a pad or in a hangar
to the ASOP
or docking port, you can manually store that into a stored state on that station or location that you are in. So let's grab our Pisces Expedition back out. So we're going to retrieve that.
Your vehicle has been delivered.
It's going to tell us that it's in hangar 3, so we can either just click the X or move away from the terminal, and it'll close the terminal. Move over to one of the elevators that are near the ASOP terminals. Now there are generally multiple elevators around the ASOP terminal location. In this case, we are going to select hangar 3 to go to our Pisces Expedition. And there's our little Pisces Expedition. I will do more detailed flight tutorials as well and controlling a ship, but while I'm in here I will do some basic key assignments for you, and how to basically get off the ground and get out of a hangar and get back into a hangar. What I'm going to do is we're going to go and enter our pilot seat by holding F to bring up the option to enter the seat. The next thing you need to do is start your engines or call air traffic control to open up the hangar doors for you to give you permission to leave. So there are multiple ways of doing that depending on what systems and hardware you have set up. The standard way in game would be to press F11, and you can then go to Friends and click on the comms icon for Seraphim Station. That will communicate or request your launch. Okay. Other ways to do it would be, for example, I've got my game glass panels set up in front of me here. I've got a button on there to call ATC, which will allow, which will basically just do that manually from the press of that tablet. I also have on my stick this little grey button here that is also set to call ATC. The next step is to fire your ship up. Standard button is U. That will bring up your systems and your thrusters and your shields. Okay. You then have I for ignition, for engines. We'll go through our MFD displays later with a bit more information on what what they tell you and what you would need to know. Standard keyboard bindings for flight is you have spacebar to go up,
takeoff complete,
control to go down,
deck proximity alert,
WASD is your
alert,
forwards, backwards,
port
and
proximity
strafing,
alert,
and then you have Q and
landing
E,
complete,
which
takeoff
is your
complete,
roll. Okay, and then you have your mouse to your, I think.
Forward
So,
proximity alert.
if we use our keyboard to get us out of here, okay. No, our mouse is not giving any input at all. Now, my mouse is probably not giving me any input, but generally you can use your mouse as well,
Please visit again.
which will give you the ability to pitch up, pitch down, and also yaw. But because I've got my sticks, everything is done through my sticks. Okay. You've then got standard keyboard button is B for your quantum drive. F2 to bring up your skyline map, and we want to go down to Orison because I want to go down and see if I've got any gear that I've purchased yesterday sitting down there that needs to come up to Seraphim. Okay, so as you can see, I'm having a bit of difficulty selecting Orison. There we go. Hopefully in 3.23 we will get the new star map. It is slated for the 3.23 patch, but you never know what might happen. So we have selected Orison. I've then gone to set route. So now Orison is our target. We can press F2 to get out of that. Our quantum drive has finished spooling, and if we have a look over here, there is Orison. At the moment it is obstructed by the space station as it's twirling around. Now it's gone to a teal color, and it is now available for us to jump to, and our calibration is ready. You can then press and hold B, which will activate and engage your quantum drive, sending you flying towards Orison. Obviously, if you've got sticks, there are different keybinds and whatnot that you can have for those functions as well. All depends on how you've got your system set up. But for basic actions and controls for this tutorial, I'm giving you the standard default
quantum drive is now
options. So, coming into Orison, the trick to find where the hangars are is, as I was explained, is you look for the octopus, okay, which is basically this thing right in front of us here. So you've got, if I press and hold F, this is the main space station here, and then shooting off from it in these branches are your docking ports and other hangars that you can park into. Okay, so it kind of looks like an octopus with 8 arms. It's not quite 8 arms and branches coming off that main one. It sort of starts as 4 and splits into 2 there. That one's mainly 1 with a couple of little bits, but that's what you need to look for. Okay, and we can go flying straight down towards that until we get close enough to call ATC again to request permission to land at a hangar. You can also press, if you're using the keyboard, Shift, which is your run key. That is also your boost key. Okay, so that'll get you a little bit of a boost to get you there faster. Orison has a very thick atmosphere. It does take a little bit to get in and out of the Orison atmosphere. Okay, so going back onto my sticks here. Generally, once you've got, oh, there we go, it's now telling us that we can now contact ATC to land. I usually wait until we're a bit closer, especially at Orison, because if you're too far away, and you request
Please
the
proceed to
landing,
assigned
you
landing
don't
bay.
see the pointer to tell you where to go. So this circle with the arrow is our hangar that we need to aim for, and it is not up on top, it is around the sides here. Okay, so we can get ourselves positioned here. Alright, now I'm going to try and get back onto the keyboard for this. Alright, so control to go down. Alright, you've got your forwards and up. Alright, now because my mouse isn't doing anything, it's going to make this a bit harder, I think. But I'm going to try it anyway. Alright.
Forward proximity alert.
We can get in, there we go. So that's near enough to being in the hangar. F4 will change our camera view, as we have learnt in first person. You then have N for Nelly, is your landing gear. So we can then bring the landing gear down, and then we can press control, okay, bit by bit, and then we can land. Okay. There are other keybinds that you can go through that will activate, like opening doors and things like that. Once you progress to sticks, you can then have those on your sticks. So unlocking and opening doors can be done through. If I slide my keypad forward, let's just have a look here. So I've got this button, this little pivoty button up and down, that'll open and close my doors. Okay. So it's going to open and close it a few times. Alrighty. Jumping back into the main ship, and we've landed. What I like to do before I get out of the ship, turn the engines off, which once again was I.
Engines offline.
We can press F1 to bring up our
Complete.
Mobi-Glass,
Have a pleasant
and
stay.
if we go across to our Vehicle Maintenance Services tab, we can then do repairs, restock our ammunition and defences, like your flares and noise and things like that, and refueling your quantum and hydrogen fuels. There is a manual option to refuel, which is more an air-to-air refueling, and it's mostly to do with the actual fuel ship itself, like the staff arrow, to move fuel across. So general flying, you would just use your auto options there to refuel, restock, and repair. We can then close that off. We don't need to shut down our ship because we're going to go and store it. So all we need to do is just get out of the ship by pressing and holding Y. And then we can run out the ship. Okay, so I didn't necessarily need to come down to the spaceport to access the inventory. Okay, so if we have a look at the inventory here, I've got these two M6A cannons, and they are currently bugged. They are there, and they show up there, but I can't transfer them into a ship to move them around. So I'm not sure what's happening with that. Okay, if we go back up to our ship, which if we try and find it, there it is over there, hangar 9. Okay, so we'll go back into the elevator, go up to hangar 9. And our ship will still be there because we haven't stored it yet. Alright, we're going to go and enter our ship again. Because when we're inside our ship has its own inventory as well. So we can press I, and on either side of our screen we can look at the vehicle. Now when we look at the vehicle's inventory on the left, it gives us the local inventory on the right. So we can move things from our local inventory to our vehicle, which obviously we can't move this item. But if our helmet was there, okay, we've got no arm filters, we could move our helmet across to our vehicle. If we leave it as personal on the left and switch to vehicle on the right, we can then move things from the vehicle to our personal inventory, or to equip it as well. Okay, double clicking it will do that, so we can move things from our inventory back to local, we can bring it back onto our person, or we can put it onto our vehicle. Now you can actually access the local inventory from outside of the station as well. You don't have to be inside the hangar to access it, you just need to be within range of the station, as well as within the armistice zone as well. So I'm just going to call ATC here, turn on my engines, okay, close up our door, lift off, put our landing gear up, and then we can turn around, and if we get our camera set a bit better, there we go. So we could then head back to Seraphim Station and be on our way, continue doing what we wanted to do. So those are a little bit more intermediate controls, and accessing ASOP terminals, getting yourself off the ground with a vehicle, and also returning back to a hangar. So I'm going to quickly get myself up out of Atmo, back to Seraphim Station, and we will call the video there. So until next time, thanks for watching. Don't forget we've got the giveaway going at the moment, which is for a 10-inch Fire Tab and 12-month subscription to Game Glass, courtesy of Game Glass. All you need to do is subscribe and comment on any of the videos that I've made since the announcement of that competition. The competition closes at 9 AM UTC on Saturday the 17th of February. So, just as an example, before I land here, if we just stop here, get out of our seat. Alright, we can press our I button to look at our inventory, and we can see we can access our local inventory from out here in space. Because my ship is still going, I just fell over. Okay, so getting back up, get back in my seat. And we shall go and land. So, calling ATC again.
Please proceed to assigned landing
telling
bay.
us that we need to land down there. Okay. Landing you down. Whoop, don't crash. So when you've got your velocity at a high speed, it does smallest movements do make large movements in the game, so you can turn your speed down so that that doesn't happen, and we will go through that in a more advanced tutorial about flying ships. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment on my videos to be in the draw for the Game Glass giveaway. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, Thunder out.